Mahalo kuhio. Aloha, kakahiaka kako. There's a story I want to share with you about Iosepa, Koho'oluhi, Navahi o Kalani o Pu'u, a man who understood something we're still learning. That sovereignty is not granted to us. It is something we practice, even when the systems around us make it impossible. It was December 20th, 1892, 28 days before the overthrow. Navahi had just been re-elected to represent South Hilo in the Hawaiian Kingdom's legislature. He was one of the most eloquent and steadfast defenders of Hawaiian self-governance, a man whose words carried weight and whose convictions inspired the people. Those in power knew this, and some would do whatever they could to keep him from taking his seat. Rumors spread that the inter-island steamship, the Kina'u, might leave Hilo early, before Navahi could board. And if that happened, he would not arrive in Honolulu in time to be seated for the opening of the legislative session. His voice and the voice of his constituents would be silenced, at least for some time. But Navahi did not wait to see if the system would correct itself. With the Kina'u already preparing to depart Hilo, he secured a va'apa, a small ferry boat, and he crossed the channel to Honolulu himself. By December 24th, he was there, present, ready, and unshaken. This was not the first time Navahi refused to let obstacles define his kuleana. He was a teacher who educated Hawaiian children when others sought to erase our language. A self-taught lawyer who defended our people against dispossession. A legislator who stood against treaties that would surrender our independence, earning the nickname the Cannon of the Legislature for the power of his words. And with his wife Emma, he founded Ke Aloha Aina, a Hawaiian language newspaper that became a voice of resistance. After Navahi's death in 1896, Emma co-led the effort to gather over 21,000 signatures on the Ku'e petitions, opposing annexation at the time representing half of our people. Navahi did not wait for sovereignty to be restored. He lived it in the classroom, in the courtroom, in the legislature, in the pages of Ke Aloha Aina, and yes, in that va'apa, crossing the Alenui Haha Channel when the easy path was blocked. In times of deep uncertainty, when systems try to silence us or shut us out, we must ask ourselves what true leadership looks like, how we face the unknown with courage, not fear. And this morning, like Navahi, we must ask ourselves, what now? You know, over the last half century, we have done the hard work of remembering. We restored our language, reinstituted our protocol, revived our traditions, and reconnected to Aina. The journey of reclamation, carried by the many legacies in this room, and mahalo nui loa, was necessary. And it continues. But memory looks backward. It tells us where we came from, but it cannot chart where we must go. What does it take to build something new? Not just to reclaim, but to construct. Not just to remember, but to create. Our ali'i, our kupuna, he knew this. When they governed the Hawaiian Kingdom, they did not try to recreate what existed before. They learned new systems, law, diplomacy, economics, governance, and they wielded them with skill. They negotiated treaties, built institutions, and met the moment they were in, not the one they wished they still had. That is how they protected our people and claimed our place among the nations of the world. Hawaiians are a people of resilience. From the ashes of decline, we rise again. We see it in the renaissance of our Olelo Hawaii, in the sails of Hokulea, in the chants of our hula and the voices of our musicians, in the immersion schools and Hawaiian-focused nonprofits, in OHA, in the Hawaiian Council, in our Li'i Trust, and in the corridors of courts, county councils, and the legislature where Native voices are no longer silent. Our people have risen before, and we are rising again. But resurgence alone is not enough. The question before us is not whether we can rise, but what we will build once we have risen. So we must ask ourselves, what future do we aspire to create? A future where Native Hawaiians are not living on beaches and encampments. A future where health and education gaps are closed. A future where our ohana thrive in body, mind, and spirit. A future where Native Hawaiians no longer represent the highest rates of incarceration in our state's jails and prisons. A future where our aina is cared for, our vai is protected, and our culture is not just surviving, but flourishing. And yes, a future where our mountains and valleys and islands are no longer scarred by live fire military training, where Pohakuloa and Makua and Ka'ula are no longer treated as expendable, but as sacred. Because to speak of aloha aina without confronting the desecration of that aina is to miss the very soul of who we are as a people. And as we look beyond Hawaii's shores, we must recognize another truth. We are everywhere. And that is not a weakness, it is a strength. Diaspora is not exile, diaspora is expansion. The ocean never ever separated us. It taught us how to move. From Tahiti to Aotearoa, from Hilo to Las Vegas, our people carry Hawaii in their pu'uwai, in their hearts. And if we are serious about building a nation that lasts, we must build a nation that travels, a nation that holds its people no matter where they are, whether in Waianae or Washington, D.C., Kailua Kona to Seattle, Hawaiians, no matter where they go, are still lahui. The diaspora is not outside our future. It is part of our shape, part of our destiny. And yet, we are not naive. We know the forces that are arrayed against us. Courts still tell us who can vote in our elections and who can serve as trustees. On the continent, powerful organizations work to dismantle Hawaiian institutions, even Kamehameha schools itself. Questioning a 141-year-old trust, the greatest gift from a princess to her people, uplifting our Native Hawaiian children through education. And across our islands, fear is used to convince us that the condemnation of Hawaiian Crown lands for military use is not merely possible, it is inevitable. This is not rhetoric. This is happening now. The forces working against us are organized, well-resourced, and patient. They know you don't need to overthrow a people in a single dramatic act. You can simply erode the structures that sustain them, piece by piece, until there is nothing left. to stand on. As chair of the Office of Hawaiian Affairs Board of Trustees, I want to speak directly to what we at OHA are building together. OHA is evolving into a new iteration, one guided by integrity, humility, and a deep commitment to future generations. We are reshaping governance to meet this moment with courage. We are stewards of resources that belong to the Lahui, and we must wield that kuleana with wisdom. But OHA cannot do it alone. None of us can. We need warriors and kiaʻi. We need visionaries who will not grow weary. We need allies, Hawaiian and non-Hawaiian alike, who understand that justice for Hawaiians builds a just world for all. So what now? What now? How do we live sovereignty today? How do we assert self-determination in a modern world? I offer 5 charges for our Lahui. Number 1, the inner charge. Live as if the nation is already here. Do not wait for recognition or constitutions, whether you believe the Hawaiian nation still exists or that it must be restored. Sovereignty begins with practice. Teach your keiki, care for aina, fulfill your kuleana wherever you live. The diaspora charge. Wherever you go, always carry Hawaii with you. If you live away, you are not a guest. You are a branch of the same tree. Stay connected, contribute, subscribe to and read OHA's monthly kawaiola, and help the Lahui bear fruit wherever you are. The generational charge. Build something worthy. Our kupuna preserved the possibility of a Hawaiian future. Now it is our kuleana to make that future irresistible, to build systems and structures and spaces that our mo'opuna will be proud to inherit. The economic charge. Control our resources, like our brothers and sisters here at Tulalip. Build Hawaiian wealth that serves Hawaiian values. Practice economic sovereignty, not the pursuit of profit, but the pursuit of balance. Support native-owned businesses, strengthen local food systems, invest in education and innovation and aina-based circular economies. Let every dollar we spend reflect the future that we want to build. And finally, the political charge. Be architects, not just witnesses. Don't only defend sovereignty, construct it. Create institutions, design law, build capacity, shape governance, vote. Move from the language of mourning to the language of creation. Imagine a Hawaii where sovereignty is not an argument, but a lived reality, where aina thrives, vai is abundant, and culture flourishes, where every Hawaiian has a home in their homeland, even in Kaka'ako Makai, where the diaspora is embraced as voyagers carrying Hawaii into the world. That is the future we aspire to, and the gift we can leave for the generations that we will never see. But the truth is, that future will not arrive by proclamation. It will be built by the daily choices of our people, in classrooms and fish ponds, in courtrooms and kitchens, in the quiet work, the quiet hana of kuleana. Navahi understood that living sovereignty was not a single act of courage. It was a way of life. Teaching our keiki, defending our people, standing firm in the legislature, speaking truth in Ke Aloha Aina, and refusing to be silenced. He did not wait for permission. He practiced sovereignty every day, in every way available to him, until his very last breath. That is what we are called to do now. Not as individuals seeking recognition, but as a lahui, exerting our collective agency in every sphere of life. Through the aina, we heal. Through the institutions, we build. The relationships we sustain across distance, and the hope we pass forward. We make ourselves too rooted to be removed, too practiced to be erased, too alive to be dismantled. This is how we strengthen the foundations of who we are, not through a single act of defiance, but through the steady, collective embodiment of the nation we are becoming. Mahalo nui loa, and eola, kalahui Hawaii.